would say that we're probably yet to see the full impact, interestingly enough, in terms of withdrawal, because I think that I think families simply enrolling their children here are saying education is a top priority for us. And I think there are quite a few of them who are really struggling. We know this because they're talking to us. But are just sort of working their way through their reserves, and they're just hanging in there. And I think we may well see the full impact of it over the next couple of years. That was certainly the experience that we read about in the United Kingdom after the recession of the early 90s. It took a few years really to have an impact on independent schools, and I think we may well see a certain amount of that. We did see a reduction in the number of applications. We didn't have the extensive waiting list, if you want to call them that, or the surplus of applications over places that we could offer that we had for a few years beforehand. That's starting to turn around now, but we certainly did see an impact. And then more of our families with us seeking assistance from the college to help their children to be able to continue and complete their education there. We've got a certain amount of funds available for that, but that's been a bit of a struggle for us, and I know other independent schools.
Ron. Bradley, I found in your presentation a couple of commonalities with Rotary. Admissions policy, reflective of your community, and stay affordable. I think those are the two issues facing Rotary, which leads me to the question, have you got an Interact club at King's?
No, we do not currently have an Interact club at King's, and I know that my Rotary club has been talking about that as well. I know some schools that have them in place, and there would be a number, you're right, there's a lot of commonality in terms of things that we're promoting with service and so on, which would fit together very well. And I think that's something that we need to look at.
Mark. Bradley, does the college need to have a policy on how they deal with the social media network?
The short answer is yes, but trying to keep up with it is really difficult, because as we all know, the younger people are generally far more adept at anything than anything we might be able to muster amongst our resources. But I think the key in a lot of these things, in some ways, these are just old issues coming up again in a different form. And I'm sure that, you know, when the communication started to become easier, telephones and everything else, they're the same issue, or similar sorts of issues. But a lot of it is about, well, firstly, alerting them to some of the dangers, and that what they put out there can be captured and can be used against them, and that it is in the public domain. There have been recent rulings on that once you put something on Facebook, there's nothing to stop anyone taking a photograph or whatever it might be and using it, because it's been deemed to be in the public domain. It's also about encouraging the right kinds of values and developing the judgment so they make sensible decisions about the things that they do as well. We all know that adolescence is often not a time for measured, considered judgment, and that's going to be with us forever, and that young people will make mistakes, and we have to understand that. But it is an ongoing one for us, and we do have to make sure that we're staying on top of some of the latest things that they do, because they can get themselves into terrible trouble.
It's a little bit like Ron, it's a pointed question that we're hearing Rotary about. What is the school doing to educate and promote entrepreneurism in the school and business awareness?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've been asked that once or twice before by business people too, and I think it is a very good question. Certainly on the business side of things, I will say that business courses, the various business courses, are very popular at our colleges, as you can imagine. I have heard from some old collegians that they felt that some years ago that the professions might have been promoted at the expense of business, but I don't see that anymore. There are some business activities that our students voluntarily get involved in, the Young Enterprise Scheme and those sorts of things. And I think also there's a real encouragement of initiative. I find the kids are always saying to me, oh look, I've got an idea about doing this to raise some funds for a worthwhile cause, or I thought we should try something else, or I've heard about this. So there's no lack of confidence and initiative in trying out new things. But I think I would agree with the point behind question is that this is something which we should be encouraging, that we do need people with a bit of, with the entrepreneur's ability to seize an opportunity. And also, and this is something I'm going to emphasise to students, a preparedness to take risks. Not silly risks, but calculated ones. Sometimes you've got to be bold and go forth in faith. I think I was preaching about that in chapel last week, actually.
I love my schoolboy rugby, Bradley, and nothing thrills me more than sort of a first 15 tussle. Nothing infuriates me more than seventh formers doing repeat years just to stay in the footy team and to keep at the top of the league table. Do you have a view on that?
Well, in my time at Kings, we haven't had anyone do that.
So you have a view?
We do have a view. We have supported the lowering of the age to qualify to play in the schoolboy rugby to prevent that sort of thing happening. And we have promoted that, but it has not got through as yet. And I think the last time when we put it up a year or two ago, we were accused of being racist by doing that. So we've got to be a little bit careful about it. But I think generally, by the time they get through year 13, they're ready to move on. If they're not ready to move on, then we and the families haven't done a great job, I'd have to say. There might occasionally be a particular circumstance where for the best of educational and social development reasons, it might be worth someone coming back, but as I say, it hasn't happened in the last couple of years. That's certainly not part of our approach. And like you, I love the schoolboy